Hey guys, welcome to another Kickster review. So today I'm going to be reviewing episode 5 of season 2 of Loki, titled Science Fiction. If you've been following my other episode reviews so far, you'll know that I've been pretty meh on the series so far. I don't think it's like offensively bad, but I also don't think there's anything good or particularly good about it. I just think it's kind of bland and meh and just kind of trods along. So this episode picks up right where the last one left off, where the loom essentially explodes and everyone in the TVA and all of time seemingly gets incinerated, except for Loki. He is left standing there and he starts time slipping again like he had been doing in the first episode. And so he's basically time slipping to other timelines and he's finding his friends from the TVA, such as Owen Wilson's character and all the others, but finding them in their variants in various multiverses. And I guess the key one that he meets up with is OB's variant, and he kind of almost hands him away to create the same machine, the tempad, in order to reverse time again and so that they can travel between dimensions and whatnot and multiverses. And so the whole episode is basically Loki going around to all of these variants, meeting up with them and convincing them that he needs them to all come together to one place so that they can try and fix this whole, the loom exploding. So this episode to me was fine as kind of like a filler episode, but the biggest problem in that is that this is the penultimate episode of the season. This is episode 5 and there's only one episode to go, which will be the finale. And it really begs the question is, what the hell is meant to happen now in the final episode? Because you spend this whole episode now just trying to set up something, but we've got one episode now to kind of tie up all of the loose ends of the series. And again, this brings me back to the same problem I keep repeating over and over. They just go along through all these episodes, they do nothing, they set up nothing, they develop nothing, and then all of a sudden they try to cram everything in at the last second. And they just completely divert the story in so many ways where you feel like, okay, we're about to go down a path where we're going to explore that more, and then all of a sudden it gets cut off. Like for example, the end of episode 4, you see Ravonna Renslayer and she finds the remains of He Who Remains, Kang, and it seems like, okay, something big's going to happen with that. Well, now we just spent a whole episode and she's nowhere to be seen. So now we'll have to, I'm assuming we'll come back to that in the 6th episode, but it really stifles the development of the show and the story, because it's just like they go one way in one direction and then they just stop and then they come back to this other storyline and they go completely another direction. And you're just left wondering at the end of this episode, like, what could possibly happen in this final episode that could really make me care? Like, forget how they could satisfyingly end the season or something interesting that they could do. It's just more like, what could they possibly do that could actually like garner any interest, because they haven't developed anything. There's no villain has been developed. We thought it was going to be Kang, but that was a complete bait and switch. And then you had Ravonna Renslayer, who's barely there. Like, nothing has been developed. Even the good guys, like there's references in this episode to how much these people at the TVA mean to Loki. I can buy that for Mobius and Sylvie, but I can't buy that for any of the other characters because he barely knows them. They're not his friends. He keeps calling them his friends and he's almost getting emotional talking about how important it is he has to find them and bring them back. But really, he hasn't known these people for very long. And many of them, especially the black woman who's the police lady and others, they've technically been imprisoning him in the TVA. So why are these people his friends? Some of them don't even treat him that well. So like, it's a really bizarre construction of characters and relationships that just make no sense. And at the same time, the plot is just not moving in the direction it needs to have properly set up what has to come now in the final episode. I mean, the saying everything and nothing really comes to mind when I think of this show, and pretty much all Disney Plus shows in general. It's like everything is happening, but nothing is happening. You know, you see all these extended scenes of Loki walking through corridors to different places in the TVA and meeting Mobius and finding his variant and seeing his life, what it's like working in a jet ski shop, like things that, like, okay, they're exploring something that we've never seen before, but they have zero relevance to the story and what the main plot is. So it's like, oh, you want to go down here, the main plot? Oh, wait, let's go this direction and just show you what they're doing here. And then let's show you what's happening over here too. Forget the main one. Let's just have distraction after distraction. And that's what it ends up becoming. There's no coherent story that comes together. There's just, it's like a 5-year-old has directed this thing within their level of a 2-second attention span. You know, they just can't focus on anything. It just always has to divert. And this frustrates me because I can really see that Tom Hiddleston and Owen Wilson and some of the cast, they're really like working hard to try and convey something. They're acting their asses off, but they're not, they've got so little to work with that you just can't really engage with it. You want to feel what they're feeling, but you just can't because hasn't been constructed properly. But I have to give that credit where it's due. That particularly Ke Huy Quan, the short round from Indiana Jones, growing up, he's a really good actor too, and they've all given it their best, but it's just not working overall. So yeah, that pretty much summarizes episode 5. Here we are again, another Disney Plus series. We're at the penultimate episode, and essentially nothing has happened, and now we have everything to do in the final episode, and I'm sure they won't address all of those things. They'll just do whatever BS story that they're planning to do, and we'll be left unsatisfied by the end of it, and they'll be just basically by that point saying, oh, get excited for the next content, because that's all that this is. It's like, get excited for the next thing. Forget about what's actually happening now and enjoying this, just get excited for the next thing. And that's all the whole Disney Plus model is built on, the whole MCU now and all of that. It's a real shame, but yeah, this is where we're at. Anyways, guys, thanks for watching this review. I really appreciate it. Tune in next week. There'll be the review of the final episode, episode 6, and then I'll eventually do my full series review, which will give my overall thoughts on the whole series. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a like, comment in the comment section below your thoughts on the series, whether you are liking or disliking it. I want to hear it all. Subscribe if you're enjoying my channel, and we'll talk to you next time. Bye.